Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Andrew Stute watching it remind me, he wanted me to ask Jabari, but I don't think the football guys care as much about this as what a guy like you might.
Okay.
He says, what are your thoughts on the CFL showing games on YTV like the NFL does with Nickelodeon? Now, he might because he's got kids himself, and I'll get to that in a moment. But the thing that's sticking in my craw somewhat, and I don't really care, but is the 4-down thing and how upset people are getting. And it jarred in my mind because Jeff, the Stamps fan, says this is day 4 of the Alex Singleton watch. And I'm like, are you watching to see which NFL team he signs with or praying that he comes back to Calgary, which they probably are. But I saw Alex retweet with a no with regards to the 4-down thing.
Yeah.
Buddy, when they went to 3-on-3 overtime in the NHL or shootouts, do you remember this degree of furor?
I know.
From hockey fans?
I'm
never watching again if they go to a shootout. Those pricks.
It's not
What?
hockey. It's not hockey.
No, I'm really? Really?
Yeah.
This is really affecting your life to the degree that it is, that you'll burn up your season tickets and you want Randy Ambrosie fired and you're saying all these horrible things about the people that run the league when they're really just trying to save it. I remember mild grumbling. I had an opinion on shootouts and 3-on-3. I did, believe me, but I didn't lose any sleep over it. And there are people that are just coming unhinged, triggered, 4 downs. My God, I wish the problems in my life were so small that would get me that upset.
I know.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
The Oilers are a different team than they were 2 months ago. Clearly they are, but tell me how, Bob.
Rod, there's a stat. The stat is 5-on-5 goal share. That's a huge stat that illustrates how you can do come playoff time. The Oilers were 22nd in the league under Dave Tippett, and under Jay Whitcroft, they're 6th at like 56.5%. If you're in the top 8 in goal share 5-on-5 as a team, you can win.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to your favorite daytime sports and entertainment show, the RP Show, here on Game Plus TV Network. And you are going to find out in moments why the sports world is just so fast-paced. Because in moments, no more than 60 seconds, we're going to go live to Dunedin, Florida to join Sportsnet's Arash Madani, who's at Blue Jays camp. He's got a small window to be with us. There's breaking news. I didn't bring my bell down, but Tiger Woods addressing the media today at Augusta, Georgia. He got off the practice green and said, off the tee box and said, I think I'm going to play in the Masters on Thursday, and everybody's going nuts. And that's our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Are you cheering for Tiger in the Masters? And the last I saw, over 90% of viewers said indeed they are. So I want to talk about that, and me not being the biggest golf guy, but a lifelong sports guy. I get it, but I don't totally get it. So let's kick that around today as well. But as I said, Arash is going to be with us in moments. Coming up, Rick Vaive, the current, for now, Toronto Maple Leafs single-season goal-scoring record holder. Rick Vaive is going to be with us. Because later on tonight, here in Sunrise, Florida, Auston Matthews may break if the Toronto Maple Leafs are in town. We're going to be there at that game. And Mike Snee is going to join us later on. He is the executive director of College Hockey, Inc., as the Frozen Four gets going this week. So let's bring in Arash Madani right now, if we don't mind, as the Jays wrap up their spring training set against Baltimore in Dunedin. What a sports day, Arash. Can you believe it?
Yeah, and it's not even, just now, noon Eastern time. I just saw the Tiger clip. Do you believe you can win this thing? I do. So game on, Augusta National. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So please, I'm trying to get my mind around this. You're a much broader sports mind than me. I'm trying to relate it to maybe Tom Brady's comeback, but this is different. And why is it so different for the golf community that Tiger's going to play in this Masters?
Yeah, because there's no event in sports that is quite like, that means so much to their sport the way the Masters does to golf. Think about it this way, Rod. There are so many people who do Masters pools who may not watch golf 361 other days of the year. There's something about the tradition and the history and Tiger's connection to Augusta National. 1997, coming in, this phenom that was brewing and then absolutely destroyed the course and changed the trajectory of the golf world then. And I was actually doing a little piece on Tiger a little while ago. In 1997, when he won the first one, there was something like a dozen guys making $1 million or more on tour. And now it's over 100. Well, 10 years later, it was over 100. It's not just the impact Tiger has made on the game, but just on the locker room and how everybody else can make money too.
Sure, you win one tournament and you're pocketing into the millions for sure. And that's the thing is, you're in
wasn't
Florida,
like that
I'm
though
in
before
Florida.
Tiger.
Right.
It wasn't like that
Well,
before
of
Tiger,
course.
right? Tiger increased the stakes for everybody.
Yeah. Well, you walk into a coffee shop here, and where it's different from where you and I are from, they may be talking about the Leafs where you're from or the Riders where I'm from. They're talking for the last couple of weeks about Tiger playing in the Masters, right? Like, this country is on red alert. And that news conference this morning was carried live on ESPN, so people are excited about it. And I am too. So, by the way, over-under on his first round, I just saw an odds company posting at 73.5 strokes, over-under. What are you taking on his first round on Thursday?
Yeah, it's a good number. I'd still probably take the over. I know it's Tiger. I know it's Augusta. It's a very, very public number. When's the last time he's played competitive golf? The last time we heard of Tiger Woods, his knee was shattered, and we thought, this may be serious. So, you can never count him out, except I think this time if I'm making an investment opportunity, Rod, I think I got the over.
Gotcha. I'll take that to the bank. Now, you're here to talk Blue Jays. Please tell our viewers, satisfy my own curiosity. What's your day like? Man, it seems hop here for you. What's going on?
Yeah, it's a busy spring. Is actually busier than you'd think, although today is pretty quiet because this is the last day of spring training. Camp literally breaks tonight at 5:00. We're here at the Player Development Complex, and they were loading up the trucks with all the gear and the bags and everything else. There's a hard 5:00 departure from the complex. The bus is taking them to the airport, and then the Blue Jays fly north. And it has been a successful spring from the Blue Jays, Rod, because you know how training camps go. The most important thing is to stay healthy. And there have been no significant injuries to the Blue Jays. There's like a minor hamstring for Ryan Baracki. That's it. Nate Pearson has mono. Bo's healthy. Vlad's healthy. Springer's healthy. Barrios, Gosman, Ryu, Manoa, Kikuchi, they're healthy. There's your starting five rotation. And there is such an anticipation around this team, and there is such hype around this team about October and the playoffs and any kind of baseball postseason conversation. It may not start and end, Roddy, with the Jays, but it certainly includes them every time. And there are very few people in baseball who wouldn't have a narrative that includes the Blue Jays playing in the playoffs.
Well, and when you talk about October, now you're piquing my interest. That hype about October, is that within the locker room or the glare on the team with expectations? Or both?
Both. I talked to Bo Bichette the other day. He said, I know what we're capable of. I spoke with Ross Stripling, who was with all those Dodgers teams that made their pushes into the playoffs. He said, this team is right up there with those. And George Springer wouldn't go there when I chatted with him, but there's a World Series champion. And he just, he said, sometimes you forget how young Bo and Vlad are because of how well they play. They finished one game out of the playoffs last year. They understand the expectations, and they want to be part of it. We asked Vlad the other day, you played 161 games last year. How many this season? He said 162 plus. There's no load management with these kids. Their eye is on the prize, and that's kind of how they're coming into this thing.
Just because he's so popular and he seems so lovable, tell me something about Vladdy that we wouldn't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's blowing smoke. He Has he matured? Because he was a kid. He's not saying kid-like things anymore, from what I can see.
Yeah, I don't know about the maturity thing, Rod. I think that's an overused and overblown thing. He's definitely experienced. He's definitely learned a lot. He's understood what it takes to keep himself on the field, how to keep his body going. He's transformed that. I thought what was really cool the other night, 2-3 nights ago, he took a pile of minor leaguers out for dinner. A lot of these guys in the minors don't make a ton of money, and here you have the superstar on this team, finalist for AL MVP, taking a group of guys out. You go in first thing in the morning. The locker room here opens at 8 in the morning. Vlad is almost always already there. Not only doing his work, but he's willing to be around on the couches, just talking to people, being a good teammate. And what was really interesting over the weekend, Roddy, he stole second base on Saturday. On Sunday, he was on second. It was a single into the outfield. He blew through the stop sign and scored, and the whole dugout erupted. George Springer was yelling, Vladdy Henderson, and they were fanning him down. Charlie Montoyo feels he can be a 40-10 guy this year. I don't know. And, somebody said, can Vlad do better than last year? And I just said, man, here's a guy who finished second in MVP voting behind Shohei Ohtani, who did something we've never seen before. I think the Blue Jays would be quite content if Vlad just copies and pastes it this season, if he just duplicates what he did last year.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, led the majors in home runs. You're right, he was at the top of all those offensive categories. How long do I have you for, man? The viewers have a lot of questions and comments, too.
Yeah, I have another 10 minutes. I got an interview with Hyunjin Ryu at the bottom of the hour, so let's be another 10 or so minutes.
Okay, thank you. Jenna Reagan chiming in. Good morning from Southern California. Good morning, Jenna. That's not a question. I just like to welcome the viewers, as you know, Arash. But C. Walker watching on YouTube says, be very interesting to see how a full season at home will be for the Jays. There must have been talk, if not in Dunedin, coming out of last year, that, hey, if we'd been at home all year, we might have not gone down to the last day of the regular season and made the playoffs. How big of a factor do you think that'll be this year?
I actually think it's massive. I think it's massive on a lot of levels. One, this is a team that had 3 different home stadiums last year. They're here in Dunedin, they were over in Buffalo, and then Toronto. Players had to relocate. They had to relocate their families. They had no idea where they were going to be playing. Dunedin and Buffalo were minor league facilities, not major league ballparks. I think that makes an impact. Secondly, they never really had a true home crowd. When they played down here in Florida against the Yankees or Rays, the visiting team brought in all the attention. So I think that's going to be a significant thing. Like, they're going to sell out that thing on Friday. Come June, July, August, if this team's in the conversation, they're going to be packed houses every night. That makes an impact. So I think that it's a good question. I think it's going to make a significant lift to this ball club this season.
Randy watching in Winnipeg on Game Plus TV says the crowds are crazy following Tigers practice round. Oh, I can just imagine. Nicholas Vela on YouTube watching says Tiger needs to go away. His time is over. Anybody who thinks Tiger has a chance has no idea about golf. Aren't you just a ray of sunshine, Nicholas?
Yeah.
From BW on YouTube, Tigers had an effect on golf what Gretzky did for hockey in the USA. And speaking of hockey in the USA, if I had my bell, and I don't, it's right over there, I'd ring my breaking news bell. We find out this morning that Ryan Getzlaff will be announcing his retirement at the end of this NHL season. From Dan in Saskatoon, Arash, what can we expect from this Cato rookie? Made the team out of nowhere.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, Roddy. Ghost Kate Cato was told yesterday after the ball game against the Tigers that he had made the team. Ghost Kate Cato was a second-round pick of the New York Yankees in 2013. For nearly a decade, he's been on one transaction wire after another, toiling through the minor leagues, bouncing from one organization to the next. And yesterday, out of nowhere, Charlie Montoyo approached him, extended his hand to congratulate him. And Cato, hand to his heart, he's like, what are you congratulating me for? And Charlie said, congratulations, you made the team. And Rod, this kid was just floating after. He was in shock. He's worked a decade to get to the big leagues. And for the first time ever, he's going to break camp as a major leaguer. He was thanking everybody after, including his T-ball coaches from back in the day. So it was a neat story. Now, to answer the question, what they can expect from him in the field is a versatile utility player who can be all over the place. He can play bunch of different positions in the infield and the outfield. He's a Kevin Biggio light, if you will. And they like his bat-to-ball skills. He basically beat out Greg Bird for a spot on the big league roster. How long Cato sticks around, I don't know. But the Blue Jays aren't done yet. Ross Atkins was on our Sportsnet broadcast on the weekend, and he made it very clear that they're still kicking the tires on some other possible moves. So stay tuned on that front.
John Burns in Calgary watching says, 2 months ago, a lockout, owners grabbed a brain. Well, they and the players found a way to get it done. So, yes, we're very happy they're playing. Ted in Red Deer.
Let me correct you.
Says, hey, Arash.
Let me correct you. 1 month ago, 1 month ago, there was a lockout. And 3 days from now, it's opening day in Toronto. So life comes at you fast.
For sure. Ted in Red Deer wants to know, hey, Arash, what do you think about the bullpen this year? Great work.
Ted, great question. To me, that is the question mark coming into this season. Because for a lot of last year, I still can remember Joel Payamps and Tyler Chatwood and Rafael Dolis and just how many games that should have been and could have been won in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings that weren't. Jordan Romano's the 9th inning guy. Tim Mesa's the 8th. They've brought over Jimmy Garcia, who you may remember from the Dodgers as Yimi Garcia and also the Astros. Yep. And they believe he can be a high-leverage guy. And Nate Pearson, we were told today, has mono, so it's going to be Ross Stripling and Trent Thornton as the long guys. I still think the bullpen is a question mark. Romano's dealing with, he threw a minor league game the other day, didn't look sharp. That's the one area to keep an eye on if you're a Blue Jay fan. But I do think that after last year, when so many games were lost because of their relievers, they'll be a lot quicker to make a move, a trade, an upgrade, if need be, early in the season. Good question. I think it's the biggest question mark of the team this year.
And we have 1 minute left. Another from John Burns in Calgary, because he's paying to super chat his comments on YouTube. And he says, Colin Kaepernick, the next Argos quarterback. You following this? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not following it. I hadn't heard anything about it, actually. I think
nothing
there
other
is...
than he was throwing for guys the other day.
Yeah. No, I saw him at the pro day at Michigan. I did. I'll just say this. To quote Mike Tomlin, never say never, but never.
A great way to end it. Thank you, sir. My best to you and safe travels, and thanks for the time, man. We will be watching you on Sportsnet.
Appreciate it, Roddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Arash Madani from the Sportsnet Blue Jays broadcast and our good and longtime friend. The Moose joins us next. On the way, Rick Vaive, the current Maple Leafs single-season goal record holder, and also Mike Snee, the executive director of College Hockey, Inc. We're just getting rolling on this Tuesday. You are watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Number 16.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back with special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It is the RP Show, episode number 731 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. It's a game day here in South Florida. Tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs are in town taking on the Florida Panthers. One of 10 NHL games on a very busy day in sports. If you just joined us, Arash Madani joined us from Blue Jays spring training, their complex in Dunedin, ahead of Friday's season opener, home opener against the Texas Rangers. On the way, Rick Vaive, his single-season goal record may go down tonight, courtesy Auston Matthews. I cannot wait to go to the game. And going with RP Show sponsors Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling to the game. That's right, if you sponsor the show, you can attend games with us. Isn't that great, Moose DuPont? Let's bring him in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, ready to go, smiling like a butcher's dog. What's up, Moose? How are you?
I'm top of the world. Things are good. Yeah, the game tonight's going to be awesome. Really jealous that you get to go, but I'll be watching from home.
It is wonderful being in an NHL market. I can tell you that for free. And by the way, speaking of NHL, breaking news today, Ryan Getzlaff will be retiring at the end of the this NHL season. Doesn't look like the Anaheim Ducks are going to make the playoffs, which is very disappointing. But yeah, we'll have to get Getz on the show. Great guy. We've had the polls. He's from Regina. We say we've had the poll, is he the greatest Regina athlete ever? And that's a great question. You got John Ryan, a Super Bowl champ from there. You got Chris Kunitz, a 4-time Stanley Cup champion from there, an Olympic gold medalist. It is a great question, but I've long said it's Ryan Getzlaff. He's got a special place in my heart. And Moose, like, I don't even know if we're going to get through the quick six show topics here. Like, why bother? We're not going to get into last night's games, other than you're going to want to, of course, mention that Auston Matthews had 3 goals to tie the franchise record, 4 goals, and the Maple Leafs beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-2 Monday. It equals Rick Vaive's record of 54 goals set back in 1981-82. But the news is all about Tiger. You're a golf guy. You worked for Golf Sask for quite some time. Let's go back to the news of the day. I'll ring the bell again. Tiger Woods saying today after his practice round at Augusta that he thinks he's going to play in the Masters this year. And everybody's going goo goo gaga. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they are. It's exciting because, you know, Tiger's what got us out of bed on Sundays growing up as golf people. You know, he's what got us out of bed in the mornings. Yeah, the other guys were entertaining, but it was Tiger. What's he going to do on Sunday? What's Tiger going to do this week? And he really brought the crowd to their feet. He's the one, it feels like, that really, you know, took golf to a new level. We know that with the celebrations and with just the emotion that he brought to the game. And I know that happened before, but nobody did it like Tiger. And you know what? We love a story, a comeback story, even if it is Tiger. You know, we're following it very closely. It creates a lot of buzz. The ratings, no doubt, are going to be extremely high this week. And if he makes it to the weekend, makes a cut, the ratings will be through the roof. So people love him, and people love to hate him too because of, you know, what he did. So yeah, it's big news this morning. And when they asked him in the news conference, "Do you think you can win?" he just stone cold looked at the camera and said, "I do."
Maybe that right there is why everybody loves him. The confidence. That gray line, that gray area between confidence and cockiness. But again, like, I'm not the biggest golf guy, you know that, but I've been a lifelong sports guy, and trust me, I do get it. But I see my golf friends are literally going off the wall about this news that Tiger Woods says he's going to play in the Masters. And then I see what the fans are saying. I saw some guy say, "I'm feeling sick, think I'm going to be off work on Thursday." And I'm like, oh, great. Us with daytime sports talk shows don't want to hear that they're going to be watching the Masters, but I get it. So yeah, it is a hell of a story, and it's funny that you say that Tiger does have his haters, but you and I talk about this all the time. You don't really see the hater. You see it as the individual that's being hated upon, but we don't see that Tiger's got haters. And when I put up that poll, and let's roll it again, boys, for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, are you going to be cheering for Tiger Woods in the Masters? Because we just learned this morning that he says he's going to play. Initially, right out of the gate, over 90% of respondents said yes, they are. But Moose, it's the field's leveled a little bit. And the last I saw, it's like 67% say they are. 33%, if my math is good, saying no, they won't be cheering for Tiger Woods. So you know that he's going to have his haters too. But as you say, you don't pay attention to them, and you don't really see them. So that is a hell of a story. Anything else on Tiger before we move on? Because we've got so many things to get to today.
I would just say temper expectations. Hasn't played in a while. He's coming off the bad car accident. I would say don't expect him to come out and win. But every time Tiger laces up the cleats and the golf shoes and puts on the glove, he's got a chance.
Folks, we are broadcasting on Game Plus Television, live across all 10 provinces and 31 states, and you do have some news. Can we spill that on the air about the free preview that's going on now? I don't know why we can't.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, no, you're the guy. You're the business. You probably know the details a little better than me, but for those that Bell is their cable carrier or satellite, now's the time. If you've been complaining that you haven't been able to get Game Plus TV, now you can. Just tell our viewers about that.
Yeah, it's on the free preview now. So now all Bell television subscribers have access to the Game Plus TV network. Super exciting for the month of April. So a chance to check us out every day. If you're watching on YouTube or depending on where you might be watching us, Bell customers can do that. And that opens up a lot of customers. I think it's like 850,000 new homes. So we say hello and welcome to new viewers on Bell, and if you're wanting to get us on Game Plus, that's where you can find us now.
Yeah, it's only till the end of the month, though, a free preview on Bell. So tell all your friends if you love the RP show and they have Bell as their cable carrier for all of April, it is a free preview of Game Plus television. So that's now up to close to 3 million homes across Canada alone, let alone the United States that we're airing in daily. Okay, moving on. So point 1 was Arash and the Blue Jays and Tiger. Point 2 is Monday NHL leftovers, and I'm not really going to get into that. Point 3, we got to mention the 3 stars named by the NHL on Monday. Oilers center Connor Mcdavid has been selected the NHL's first star of the week after collecting 5 goals and 3 assists in 4 games. The offensive outburst pushed McDavid past the 100-point milestone for the 5th time in 7 seasons. Florida Panthers forward Alexander Barkov, who also tallied 5 goals and 3 helpers, was named the week's second star. And Islanders goalie Semyon Varlamov, who posted 3 wins and a shutty, was named third star. 2.4, if I'm on track here. Kansas posted the biggest comeback in the history of the March Madness final in a 72-69 victory over North Carolina at the Superdome in New Orleans. The Jayhawks trailed at halftime 40-25 before rallying to win their 4th U.S. college championship. I just want to say the daily thing, Moose, what they're talking about on Miami Sports Talk today, this morning, for 1 full hour, the host on WQAM, I think his name's Joe Rose, complained that the game didn't tip off until 9:20 p.m. Eastern. He's like, what is wrong with these people? And to be honest, I could sit and talk about this all day, but I'm not sure people care about it as much as I do. He goes, I'm sure the network executives have a reason to put it on that late. But think about this. We missed the end of the game. The people on the west coast of America, maybe they missed the start of the game, but at least they see the end. You know what he's saying? He's saying everybody could have seen the ending if you'd started it at a more humane hour. But these are TV network executives, and I assume they know what they're doing. And I'm like, I felt like picking up the phone and saying, nope, they don't know what they're doing, except for those at Anthem Sports, Game Plus TV, Game TV, and Fight Network. Other than that, no, I don't think they know what they're doing. So I don't have any more thoughts on March Madness than that. I'm actually kind of glad that it's over. Can I move on?
Yeah, except for, did you see Mo Egger's thoughts on that exact same topic on Twitter? He said, people are complaining about the 9 p.m. Eastern start, but it's been this way for 20 years. At least you'd be used to it by now.
I don't know. I was long gone to bed and didn't care. Don't feel like I missed anything. Other than to say, I should mention this. I was watching the Boston-Columbus hockey game last night, and I didn't put it in my I skimmed over the leftovers from Monday night's NHL games, but Boston beat Columbus in overtime. Jake DeBrusk scored the winner for the Bruins, a Swift Current Bronco alum. But on the other side was Cole Sillinger, whom we've had on this show many times, the star rookie for the Blue Jackets. And Darren, I can tell you this, because I watch hockey more than the average Joe. Cole Sillinger is probably the best player on the Columbus lineup. And even Blue Jackets fans, I tweeted that, and they were writing me back going, well, maybe he's the best forward, but he's not the best player, or the best defenseman is Werenski. And I'm like, I don't know. But I see Cole Sillinger skating around in the offensive zone, making 50-foot passes in the offensive zone like the game is in slow motion for him. He's 18. And I remember when him and his dad came into the studio, and I said, Cole, is it easy for you? Because it looks easy for you. And his dad, Mike, looked at me and just wrinkled up his face. He's like, it's not easy for him. And then we went, and Mike, of course, played for 12 NHL teams over 18 seasons. We know Mike Sillinger. Cole was born in Columbus. When the mics were off and we went to commercial, I said, silly, what I meant was, like, it looks easy for him. I know it's not easy. And Mike goes, no, it's all the work that he put in the summer. It's the 1,000 pucks a day that he shot in the garage. That's what makes it easy. Cole's put in the work, and he does make it look easy. But my thing was, Darren, that was in the Western League when he was 16. He's 18 and was skating circles around the Boston Bruins last night. I didn't get a lot of blowback that he might be the best player on the Columbus roster. It's not saying much, but you know what I mean.
I do. He's an exciting player, and the future looks really bright. And you're right. We got some feedback on that, some comments, and they were mostly, wow, this kid is unbelievable, and people are going to have to take notice in Columbus because he's on the map already. I know his point totals aren't incredible. What is he at? 22, 23 points right now in the season, but he's 18.
Oh, terrible.
And it's going to be a steep rise for Cole Sillinger. At least that's what it looks like.
Well, I think he's set a franchise record for goals by a rookie, or he's darn close to it. So anyway, I guess he's not going to win the Calder, probably because he plays in Columbus. But he's going to be an NHL star. Sorry to say, Mike, but way better than his dad. Point 5, Canadian soccer star Alfonso Davies has been named the Concacaf Men's Player of 2021. Davies was instrumental in helping Canada qualify for the World Cup. As we know, he appeared in 7 regional qualifying games in 2021 before being sidelined by a mild heart condition following a bout of COVID-19. So maybe they're right. Maybe Alfonso Davies is Canada's most marketable athlete. I'm now classified an old white guy. So my opinion doesn't really count. And I'm getting onto the soccer train, but maybe he is the most marketable star in Canada. Good for him. And my last point, for the Rough Riders fans that are watching, I had to mention this. There's the article at 3downnation.com about Jeremy O'Day, the Rough Riders general manager, not going to open up contract extension talks with their star quarterback, Cody Fajardo. I don't know where this is rating in the rectangle at all, but I do have some thoughts on this. As the Rider guy for 20 years and a big fan of Cody Fajardo's. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I don't think there's any rush. He's the second highest paid player in the league right now as it stands. He's going into the last year of a 2-year deal, and I get why neither side may want to extend. I mean, Cody probably wants to because it's great money, but you haven't even gone into the 2022 season yet. What would be the rush? The collective bargaining agreement isn't even done yet. I thought they were hasty in signing him to the extension a year ago, or whenever they did it. So my thoughts are I'm actually okay with them not signing him to an extension. Let's see how this season unfolds. Do you have any thoughts on it?
No, I agree, and I think both sides probably want that too. I mean, unless you think you can get him on a bargain right now because, if you consider that he had a down year, maybe, in Saskatchewan, so maybe the Riders think they can get him on a deal, but Cody would want to, go out in the field and prove that he's worth the big dollars that he's probably going to ask for at the end of the year. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
3rd in CFL passing, 9-5 record. If that's a down year, I'll take it. 8-4 was his personal record. Moose, I'll see you back in hour 2, okay?
You got it.
Toronto Maple Leafs great Rick Vaive joins us next. His record may fall tonight. The Leafs are here in Sunrise, Florida tonight, taking on the Florida Panthers. It's a big one. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and if you've missed any portion of the show, you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's lifeline.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back. With special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Game day, as we mentioned, in South Florida. The Florida Panthers home to the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. We may be in attendance to see a vaunted Leafs record fall. Auston Matthews goes into the game with 54 goals. He tied it last night with a hat trick in Tampa last night. The Leafs beating the Lightning 6-2. So I'm not sure who I'm talking to on the other side. It might be Rolf in for our producer, Rocky, who called in sick today. But we're working on getting Rick Vaive. He's scheduled to be, I think they're having some connection problems. But you always know they're watching in Calgary because they're upset that I did not refer at all to the Flames win last night. Trust me, I have it. They said, oh, Rod must have been in bed, gone to bed. In fact, I had. But in Los Angeles, Johnny Gaudreau had 2 goals and an assist. Calgary extended its lead in the Pacific Division with a 3-2 win over the Kings. Elias Lindholm also scored for the Flames, who have 91 points and a 5-point advantage over the Kings atop the division. Jacob Markstrom stopped 27 shots as Calgary snapped a 3-game slide, and Cal Pedersen finished with 30 saves for Los Angeles. So we got him now. Rick Vaive, everybody, he's on everybody's lips with Auston Matthews tying his single-season goals record last night. It could fall tonight. I'm going to be at the game, Rick. How you feeling with this change? Oh, phone's going off there.
Oh, it's been
Let
going
you get
off
that
like crazy since last night.
I bet. How are you feeling about all this?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, you got a guy that's a unbelievable player and a goal scorer, and I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I mean, it's time to kind of pass on the torch after 40 years. It's been a long time, and I don't have a problem with it whatsoever.
Well, you'll obviously be watching the game tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun to be there. But to tell me, please, about the 81-82 season when you tied it. I just looked up the roster. You had some real Cowboys on that team, and some guys that can put the puck in the net. Builder Lego, obviously. Sittler only had 18, but he played half the year. Barry Melrose played 64 games on that team. What do you remember about that season when you set the Leafs record?
Well, I mean, I played with some good players. There's no question about that. And the phone keeps going off. But anyway, I mean, Bill Orlega was a great centerman for me that year. Boreas Salming on the point in the power play. So, I mean, it made our power play pretty good. And I got to play with good players. You don't score 50 goals if you're not playing with good players. And I had that opportunity. I had Billy and then Danny Daou. They kind of split the 350-goal seasons as my center. So I was very fortunate I got to play with good players and was able to achieve that.
Well, you did it with a vaunted franchise, obviously, and I'm just wondering if you thought it would stand to this long, or maybe you thought it would stand forever. Did you think about that at the time?
No, not really. First of all, I figured someone would break it sooner than 40 years. I'm just glad that I'm still around to see it, and 40 years later. And they had some great players after that too, but none were able to score 50 goals. And well, a couple of guys did, but I mean, later on, Matt Sundin and guys like that, and nobody was able to get 50 out of in that era. But this guy's he's a machine. It's like, I compare it to that when they test golf balls and clubs and they use that Iron Byron machine. Like, that's what he's like. It's like everything he shoots goes in, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I just saw that when he hit 50 the other night, there only three other Leafs have ever scored 50 goals or more, and you're obviously one of them. It shocked me with the offensive prowess that's been through there. But I know that you're active with the alumni. Have you been around Auston? Have you he's been in Toronto long enough. Have you had a relationship with him?
I wouldn't say actually a relationship, but I've met him several times, and we've had a couple of conversations and about the record. And I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when we were at a Leaf dinner at the Royal York, and we were actually sitting back to back, and I started talking with him, and I said about breaking the record, and he mentioned that he's got a long way to go. And then, of course, 47 goals with 12 games remaining, everything got shut down by the pandemic. So I felt bad for him that he didn't get that opportunity, but he's worked extremely hard in the off season to get better and better each year. And boy, is he ever showing it this year.
Well, this is what I love about the age that I am, that I can say I watch both players, and you two are far different players. You're right. We go back and stop right there. Just think about that, though, Rick. I mean, it was a different time back then. And do you still have your stick over your shoulder? The last time you were on with me, you reached over and you grabbed it, that old Titan. Like, imagine if Auston was playing with that these days, if he would score 54 or not. I don't know if he'd be able to. I don't know if he'd be able to lift it.
Yeah, he'd be able to lift it. He's a big, strong guy, but the goalies are so good now that, those new sticks kind of offset the goalies and that sort of thing. I mean, in my day, the goalies wore smaller equipment. They were mostly stand-up goalies. But then again, we got hooked and held and grabbed and cross-checked and hacked and whacked, time and time again. So I think it all evens out in the long run. The game has changed a lot, yes, but I think it all evens out with the equipment we had and even the guys before me, the equipment they had and that sort of thing. So I think you could just kind of equal everything out.
It's funny you say that because we had Lanny on the show right in person. We were doing the show in Calgary a few weeks ago, and Lanny said that, exactly that. He goes, who knows if they'd have scored more in our time or we'd have scored more now? Who knows? Mm-hmm. But it sure is fun to watch. And, Rick, before I let you go, just your thought on this year's Leafs. Like, are they going to get it done? They're obviously going to be in the playoffs, but do you think they have what it takes to win it all?
Well, I think they do. I mean, who knows when you get to the playoffs? I mean, everybody thought perhaps last year they had what they needed to win, and they didn't. So, I mean, you got to wait until the playoffs get going. It's a completely different game. Anything can happen. And they got a good enough team they could go on a run in the playoffs. But at the same time, they could, lose in the first round. And it's funny. I remember the last time I was on your show promoting the book, Catch 22. Well, he caught me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no kidding. I guess you got to be careful what you wish for. Well, Rick, it's always great seeing you, and I know you'll be enjoying the game tonight. We do remember what you did. We'll never forget. Thanks for this, and good luck with everything.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, Rod. I appreciate it.
Toronto Maple Leafs great Rick Vaive. His record may fall tonight when Auston Matthews and the Leafs visit the Florida Panthers right here tonight at FLA Live Arena. We'll be back with a viewer takeover for Taco Time. It is Taco Tuesday, by the way, at Taco Time, and there are 120-plus locations across Canada. On the way, the Moose will rejoin us, and Mike Snee, the executive director of College Hockey Inc., with the Frozen Four taking to the ice beginning Thursday. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Okay, it is Tuesday, and of course that means Taco Tuesday. $2 tacos at every single one of the Taco Time locations across North America. The biggest questions you'll have today are hard or soft shells or beef or veggie. Here, it's hard shells and beef, but I'm not going to tell you what to do other than get down to Taco Time. See this right here? We are big Taco Time fans. And hey, Grey Eagle fans too, by the way. Beginning next Monday, we'll be live from Calgary's entertainment destination for a month. It is viewer takeover time, and I apologize to Alex at Game Plus TV. Alex is working in the control room in downtown Toronto 5 minutes really from BMO Field is where the studio is. He says, morning, Roddy. Question for Arash. Wonder what he thinks about this year's starting pitching for the Jays and what's he getting out of spring training. I just opened the line, and I apologize, Alex. I didn't get the question, but I think we covered most of it with Arash right off the top, and I really appreciate him spending the time from the Blue Jays spring training facility in Dunedin. Jays heading home after tonight. They're taking on the Orioles. As a matter of fact, right away, it's their last game of spring training, and then they get set to open the season on Friday to the Texas Rangers. I do love the comments when I do open up the text line, the 902 text line, that are the spillover from yesterday's show, because you have to understand it's not my personal phone. I only operate it during the show. So I mentioned the rain moving in at the end of yesterday's show. Randy Slew, watching in Strasbourg on Game Plus television, writes in and says, Rod, please send the rain north to good old Saskatchewan if you don't mind. LOL, another great show. Randy watches Game Plus TV on the SaskTel Max cable carrier. And by the way, for the month of April, it's a free preview for all Bell customers across Canada. That's 850,000 more homes that we're in with the RP show daily. Tell your friends if Bell's their cable provider, cable, satellite. It's a free preview for the month on Game Plus. Metal Shingle Guy writes in, this is yesterday, and he says, looking forward to next weekend's USFL kickoff. I would suggest we are too, but there's just so much other stuff going on with Tiger Woods saying today, I'll ring the bell again, Tiger Woods saying today that he'll be playing in the Masters. He feels like he'll be playing in the Masters after coming off the course today, golfing a practice round. There's just so much going on that we'll get to the USFL when we get to it, but I'm not sitting there pining about it. I can tell you that for free. Glenn Chernick, watching in the Queen City, regarding yesterday's big hot show topic about the Zegras, Troy Terry, Jay Beagle situation. He says, I don't believe the hit on Zegras had anything to do with the lacrosse goal. You whack away at a goalie in a 5-0 game, you will pay, or at least you should. I think it all was rolled up into one. And I also was doing a little reading on it this morning. Tyson Nash coming out and doubling down on his comments. You got to love Tyson Nash. They grow him tough out there in Kamloops. Doubling down on what he said. You come in here and skill it up, you're going to have to answer the bell. I love it. Tyson has never been one to back down from anything, let alone something he said on the air. Sports update, NHL scoring leader Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers visit the San Jose Sharks tonight. McDavid riding a 13-game point streak and has 26 points over that span. The Oilers have won 4 in a row. Also tonight, the Montreal Canadiens host the Ottawa Senators in a friends and family game. Only friends and family care. And the Leafs are at Florida here tonight. Did I mention that we're going tonight and taking show sponsors, Bronco Plumbing and Heating and Cooling? And we may see the Leafs single-season record for goals go down tonight. I can't wait. Last minute of play in hour 1. Last minute. Brad Gushue and his Canadian rink put their undefeated record on the line against Germany today at the World Men's Curling Championship in Las Vegas. Canada improved to a perfect 5-0 with a 10-4 victory over Italy yesterday. The sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. For the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Diving into the chat here, just seeing what the folks are saying. People saying they're cheering for Cole Sillinger, of course. Chris Bird has some thoughts about the USFL lawsuit. We'll get into that next hour, okay? When Moose will join us, and also Mike Snee from College Hockey Inc. Stick around after this break on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back. With special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Number 16.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The Oilers are a different team than they were 2 months ago. Clearly they are, but tell me how, Bob.
Rod, there's a stat. The stat is 5-on-5 goal share. That's a huge stat that illustrates how you can do come playoff time. The Oilers were 22nd in the league under Dave Tippett, and under Jay Woodcroft, they're 6th at like 56.5%. If you're in the top 8 in goal share 5-on-5 as a team, you can win.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Here we go. Here we go. Get ready. It's hour 2 of the RP Show. And we're coming at you live from Boca Raton, Florida. Gorgeous and steamy hot South Florida today. This is going to be a lot of fun. I just had told in my ear by our today's producer, Rolf, that we don't have Darren DuPont with us. So it's just me and you, the viewers, for a while. And I know I'll get halfway through a story, and then I'll get in my ear, oh, we got Moose. And I'll be halfway through a story. So let's get into it right now, okay? We, last hour, had with us Rick Vaive, the Toronto Maple Leafs great, whose record may fall tonight because Auston Matthews, his Toronto Maple Leafs record for goals in a season, Rick Vaive, 54. He set it in 1982, 40 years ago. Last night, Auston Matthews had a hattie in Tampa. Leafs won 6-2. Tonight, they're here in Florida. We're going to the game with sponsors, Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. I cannot wait. Get Camco down here and show them what we got going on and why it's so awesome for the RP Show. And the viewers writing in, as a matter of fact, Robin Brownlee, longtime Hall of Fame writer up in Edmonton, covered the Oilers for years for this Edmonton Sun, writes in, he says, Rick Vaive and Bill Derlego for Tiger Williams and Jerry Butler. Not as bad a trade as Cam Neely and a first-round pick for Barry Pedersen, but close. Mercy. They got rid of Rick Vaive and Bill Derlego. They had like 100 goals together in one season for Tiger Williams and Jerry Butler. What? As we bring in the Moose, yeah, that's an era of Leafs hockey that, for your sake, Darren, you should be very happy that you weren't alive for.
Yeah, I've heard all about it, and I'm glad. Though this era hasn't been all that great either.
No, but they were like historically bad. At least they're making the playoffs now, and then blowing it. They were blowing it in the regular season back then. Anyways, moving on. You've been gone for 20 minutes or so. We've had a lot going on here. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, I'm going to get to you in a second. I was talking about, I opened the text line from yesterday's show, and there was some leftovers in the fridge, Darren, from the viewers, okay, yes, that had written in. So they were talking about the Zegras, Troy Terry, Jay Beagle thing. And I said that Tyson Nash, the broadcaster for the Coyotes, who backed his player, Jay Beagle, is doubling down on what he said. You're going to come into our building and skill it up. You're going to have to pay the piper. So Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, you know him well, has written in and he says, for story time, RP, tell us a time where you took a bit of heat for on-air comments and then doubled down on those comments and were eventually right. Well, I don't know, Nelson. How about every time? How specific do we want to get? I can go as easily as the Ken Holland scoop when I said he's going to be the next GM of the Oilers. I still have screenshotted the headlines from the national newspapers and networks saying that I was wrong. I still have it screenshotted. And that I was wrong. That Ken Holland won't be the next GM of the Oilers. No, I doubled down. Pinned it to the top of my Twitter profile. And, of course, a week later, he was named general manager of the Oilers. Only TSN apologized. Only TSN. Nobody else did. There's Rider news that I spilled and was right on, would be proven later. One of my favorites, though, Darren, because I was like, what? There's been dozens of times that's been the case. Story time. But yeah, the night that the Rider fans pelted the BC Lions players with beer cans, remember that one? 2008, September 2008. My God, 14 years ago now. I'm on the air defending the Rider fans. Thousands of beers were being thrown at the BC Lions players on the sidelines, and I defended them because I said they were provoked by the BC players. Right? And, of course, I got nailed for that one by everybody. But then I got called in by the mayor of the city and the president of the football team and said, good for you for saying it. We can't, but you can. So good for you for sticking up for our fans. I'm like, can I get a little help here? But at that time, I realized, you know what? I'll just wander out on a limb on my own and stay out here. And if you want to come join me, great. If you don't, that's fine, too. I made a living out of it. So there's just some incidents.
That's pretty good. I like that one. And so you can sympathize with what he's going through, where it's, you got to back. When you're the voice of a team, it's completely different than being on a national broadcaster or being on some independent show or doing what we're doing today, right? You kind of have to have that blind loyalty to the team, do you not? And, back them no matter what.
I want absolutely zero part of that life anymore.
Yeah.
It's selling your soul, and for what? So anyways, enough about that. But that could go on, but Nelson, there are some of the stories. Chris Bird, watching in King City, Ontario, says, in those days, the Maple Leafs had one hell of an owner, LOL. It was Harold Ballard, and for the sake of our Eastern Canadian viewers, we could sit and go on about this forever. Jamie Anstey, watching in Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, and I appreciate you watching, Jamie. He says, Harold Ballard had something to do with all the dumpster fires year after year. And that's the truth. I wonder if the viewers and fans are as fascinated about ownership as I am. And I think you are too, Darren, because you own a company. It's not much different in a lot of ways than a sports team. And we always say it starts at the top. And Harold Ballard, I never met the man, but I've heard all the stories. He treated Wendell Clark like an absolute son. Tiger Williams, all those guys loved Harold Ballard. They loved him. But there had to be something wrong with him because his teams were terrible. So bad. Somebody enlighten me. Have you done any reading on this as a Leaf fan?
I try and avoid it. I mean, yeah, it's hard. I don't get it because there had some great players come through, some good players, but yeah, there was something that was missing with the Leafs for a long time. And, you know, I really didn't become a fan of the team until the 90s, right? I mean, so that's tough.
Yeah. Hey, I knew that this was going to be fun this hour. I want the viewers to just throw spaghetti at the wall and whatever sticks, we'll get at it for you. Is there anything on your mind today? How jealous are you that I'm going to watch the Maple Leafs tonight here in Sunrise, Florida with our sponsors, Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling? I want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm extremely jealous. You know, this is where we've evolved to. You know, we get really excited out here in Western Canada, as we should. You know, the Leafs fans, when they come through Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and I got to get there to watch. But that's not the same as getting to watch them in Tampa and Sunrise as they make the Florida trip. You know, especially with Florida and Tampa being two of the heavy hitters in the National Hockey League. The Leafs played well last night, and now you got an even tougher task with Florida coming off the other last week's game. So, no, it's a marquee matchup. It's going to be in one of the great places to watch a game, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I'll be thinking of you, Moose. You know that.
All right.
Wayne Grollo in Victoria, BC writes, and he says, you know, Rod, that's one of the reasons I've been such a big fan of yours. I remember when you announced this show, and I was very happy to hear you were back on TV. Thank you, Wayne. I really appreciate it. What a nice thing for him to say, eh, Moose?
Very nice.
Dave watching in Medicine Hat. Dave Haney. He says, remember John Cornish mooning the East Side Rider fans? We were all called liars and homers, green-colored glasses, etc., until Cornish himself admitted it and apologized. He mooned the fans.
Like not even a fake one. Like Randy Moss style? Like legit, right?
Dropped his drawers. Oh, man. Can you imagine if that happened these days? They'd friggin' throw him in jail.
I know.
John, whoa, gong broke. Let's do that right. John, in Winnipeg. Rod, Gunslinger Pedersen, shoots straight from the hip. That's right. If it's coming out of this mouth, you can believe it. Dan in Saskatoon regarding Ryan Getzlaff announcing that he will retire at the end of the season. Ryan Getzlaff, the Anaheim Ducks great. He says Saskatchewan sports, Mount Rushmore. Here's his suggestions. Gordie Howe, Haley Wickenheiser, Catriona LeMaidon, and Ryan Getzlaff? That's his. Yeah, I can't name any others than that. That's pretty darn good. But actually, I meant to get this going and got sidetracked. You know how that tends to happen on the RP show. I was mentioning, I love when we say, I love the daily update. Here's what they're talking about on Miami Sports Radio today, just so you know. I'm whipping down the Glades Street in my Jeep, and I'm listening to WQAM. And I mentioned the host was ranting about the late start time, 9:20 Eastern, for the March Madness final Monday night, and how upset he was about that. But the other thing was he was talking about how much he hates Paul Pierce. You have to understand, it's America, basketball. Yeah. Like, is Paul Pierce still playing? Is he? Yeah, I know, right? I don't even know.
I think so.
I'd have to look it up.
No.
Well, if he's still playing, then he's been playing a hell of a long time. But the Boston Celtics, great, Paul Pierce. He's just saying how much he hates him. And I always, as you know, for years, you want to know a little inside Hollywood stuff? It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way, which tells me that we're on the right track, Moose. It's all that matters.
Yes.
and the Angels are close. Little Hollywood stuff here. A lot of the shows that I've watched over the years and listened to, I just steal and relate it to what I'm doing at now. Like the old radio show, The Sports Cage, that I did, that I dreamt up. Well, I stole the name from a sports bar chain in Quebec. Cajot Sport. The translation is Sports Cage. And I thought, man, that would be a cool name for a sports talk show. And then when I got one, I named it that. Jumped through the legal hoops, and it seemed to be a bit of a success. But anyways, I loved watching the NFL Network, and I thought I could just take my ex-Rider guys and put them on the radio, and it would be just as popular as the NFL Network, and that's bingo, exactly what happened. So what I'm stealing today from Miami Sports Radio, when he said how much he hated Paul Pierce, he was the host, Joe Rose. He was asking the listeners if it was wrong for him to hate somebody as much as he does. Which that doesn't really matter. Who cares, right? My question that I want to relate to our viewers today, who's the one player that you hated? You had an unreasonable amount of hate for this particular player. And because I'm driving and I'm just thinking about every story needs a villain, and I think every good story needs a villain. Not every story needs a villain, but the good stories need a villain. And when I was a kid, quite frankly, it was Theoren Fleury, and it worked really good. And I think it's hilarious that Theo and I have gotten to be such really good friends now, because I said to Theo, I grew up as a Pats fan and an Oiler fan. And he's like, pfft. I'm like, I hated you with a passion. And now I literally love him. We tell each other that we love each other in text. We tweet at each other, because we do. Genuinely do. And I just, I was the villain for a lot of years in that Rough Rider Stampeder rivalry, which I didn't care. It was fun. The only problem was going back into Calgary now in recent years and realizing, wait a minute, you're still mad? But we're getting over that. I'll say mine's Theo. Don't at me. And I've had many more, but who is yours, Darren?
Oh, boy. There's probably two. I would say number one, and I didn't really hate him, but he was just probably Alfredsson, because I was a Leaf fan, and in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was all those great playoff series and season series with Toronto and Ottawa. So it was probably, Ottawa's a home, probably Alfie. And then when Toronto and Boston had those playoff series, it was Chara, right? I mean, he was big. You couldn't do anything about it. He beat you up literally on the ice, and you literally couldn't do anything about him. He was that good and that big and that strong and that tough. And it's just like, I hate this guy. He's always in the way, and he's always messing up what we're trying to do. So it's probably Zdeno Chara.
Well, it's kind of interesting that you say that, because Zdeno Chara was never really a dirty player, and God knows Daniel Alfredsson certainly wasn't. I want to hear from the viewers this. Who is the player you hated? We'll carry this over into the next segment. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says Nazem Kadri. Jason in Red Deer says, I've always hated Corey Perry and Brad Marchand. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says Marchand in all caps. Who is the player you hated? It's a lot of sports on that, a lot of wide variety. They're saying drink the pink. Yeah. They got more questions on that. Chris Bird in Toronto has thoughts on the USFL. So we'll take a break here and come back. Okay, Moose, you good for 4 minutes?
Sounds good.
I knew this was going to be a lot of fun today. It's episode number 731 of your favorite daytime sports talk show, and we'll be right back. It's hour 2. And we're broadcasting on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube, live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio streaming at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Gotta shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
Squad? Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back with special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Number 16.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's the Rod Pedersen Show, and it's hour 2 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. Keeping the discussion going here today, we've got the Moose, Darren DuPont, with us, and I feel like we could sit. This is a topic that's just fun for sports talk. Who's that one player you just hated more than hate? An unreasonable amount of hate. There's a lot of votes for Brad Marchand of the Boston Bruins, as you can imagine, Darren. I'm just going to continue with the viewer comments. It's full-on viewer takeover for our friends at Taco Time, where it is Taco Tuesday, $2 tacos available at the 120-plus locations across Canada. Ted in Red Deer says, John Cornish here. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, Darren, you can't hate anyone, can you? You're too nice of a guy. What's that say about me? Nelson Hakowicz watching says Darcy Tucker. And trust me, oh, I get it. I hated him when he was with Kamloops. Jeff Kabilas in Winnipeg watching says Corey Perry and Jamie McCown for putting Dale Howardchuk out for the playoff series against the Oil. Jamie watching in Nova Scotia. I bet Wendell Clark hated Marty McSorley. He says Andrew Stute, the original Quebecer watching. He says, I'm going to age myself. Kenny Linsman, the Rat. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says, in the past it was Theron Fleury. How can you not hate Marchand today? Another is Matthew Tkachuk. You and I have had the distinct pleasure of watching Matthew Tkachuk up close and live now for, 7-8 weeks in Calgary in the Saddledome, and he's grown on me. Any team would take him on their team, and the same actually goes for Brad Marchand, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. The other one that got me a little bit riled up was Dominic Hasek, not because he was a jerk or anything, but he's flopping all around and he's knocking Canada out of the Olympic Games, and I'm like, come on. Just score one on this guy. Dominic Hasek used to drive me nuts, too.
See, what's interesting about you that I've just learned, you don't have any real good reason to hate them other than you couldn't score on them or you couldn't stop them. There's they're not, none of those guys you mentioned, Daniel Alfredsson, Hasek, they're not antagonists. And it's fine.
None of them are jerks. Yeah.
I hated Anthony Calvillo and G. Roy Simon. Two guys that have become great friends of mine. I hated them because they beat us. So trust me, I get it. But Tacona and Winnipeg says Matthew Barnaby. And it's funny how Barney, this all ties in together. I asked him about Brad Marchand. I don't know if it was on this show or at a sports banquet we did. But he said, Brad Marchand is everything I aspired to be. He goes, he's a pest with skill. Barney says, I wish I was as good a player as Brad Marchand. But there's something to think about there. And Ryan H. on YouTube says, always hated Jeter. Obviously, he's talking about Derek Jeter. But then I look at these guys, the iconic Ironman record holding, like Jeter patrolled that infield for the Yankees for a couple decades. How could you not like Derek Jeter? He's just excellence.
I know. He's excellence. He's not flamboyant. He didn't really talk a whole lot. He just went about his business. He was a leader. I think there's a lot of... But I guess if he's part of the big bad Yankees and you're a Red Sox fan or you're a Blue Jays fan, I get it. You'd hate everybody on the Yankees.
Yeah. So it's a fun question. It's a wonderful topic for sports radio, sports talk television like we're doing. By the way, I won't let it out of the bag other than to say that you are coming to America next week. So please do me a favor. If you have time, find a place that you can stream on ESPN Plus the Tom Brady 9-part documentary. Please, Darren, would you do me? I don't ask you for much other than to pay me. And would you please find some time to watch the Tom Brady documentary because you need to see it. As the Tom Brady fan you are, because I was about to say, how could you hate Tom Brady? And then I realized, well, he kind of gave people a reason to hate him. I get it. And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about there. By the way, yeah, I gotta limit the comments here. Let's hear from some more people. Let's get louder. I don't want to keep hearing from the same people all the time in the chat. And by the way, the text line is open, 902-518-3033. Nothing against those people that are chatting because they're our biggest supporters and fans, but I want to hear from more people. Holy smokes. Yeah, how can you tell I just opened the text line? Rick Sawatsky, watching in Martinsville on Game Plus TV, regarding the Mount Rushmore of Saskatchewan athletes. He said Ryan Getzlaff is great, but Trache, Clark Gillies. Okay, because I said Regina. I didn't say Saskatchewan. Trache, of course, from Val Marie. And Jethro, Clark Gillies from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Listen, these things are getting thrown at us fast, Moose. We got to be limber, right? So I wasn't necessarily agreeing or disagreeing that Getzlaff should be on the Mount Rushmore for Saskatchewan athlete. But just a couple more. Todd and Red Deer. Hey, Rod. Hated Wayne Gretzky as an Oiler, but after he got to L.A., I loved him. Funny how that works, huh? Frank in Airdrie, Alberta. Long-time Leaf fan, dating back to the original six. Enjoyed last night's tilt, and although Matthews may pot number 55 tonight, I temper my expectations for the Leafs because it's the back end of a back-to-back. Typical Leaf fan. Sandbagging already.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, that's
Rob,
funny. Like,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I've been doing a lot of talking here. Go ahead.
On the Leaf thing, you know, and you know, they were all over Matthews because number 50 scored it into an empty net, right? And they're all over him. And then the next night he goes out and scores the hat trick to get, you know, 52, 3, and 4. But yeah, now we're hedging the bets. Well, if they lose tonight, here's why. Already building up the excuses. I don't like that.
I know.
They'll be tired.
It's a Leaf fan. It's a Leaf fan for you. Rob in Cold Lake, Alberta, writing in on the text line on this Taco Time viewer takeover. Who did I hate? John Ferguson or maybe Henri Richard. But why hate? It's such a waste of time and emotion. Come on, Rob. Don't be a wet blanket on our sports discussion here. If you were paying attention to what I said earlier, it's who did you hate? With an unreasonable amount of hate. I didn't say who do you hate now. Because I'm with you. I don't have the time or the energy either. I don't have it. Listen, it's like hate's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The other person don't care about you. So trust me, I get all that. Rod Burchell, I like this one. A referee aficionado. Rod Burchell, good guy. Writes in and says, how has no one said Claude Lemieux? Well, I'm sure if we asked Patrick Roy, that would be his answer.
Or Chris Draper.
Right. Alex in the Game Plus newsroom. Why do I keep saying newsroom? Does Game Plus have a newsroom? Alex from the Game Plus control room in Toronto says Sean Avery. Like I say, Sean Avery, just a special kind of weird citizen of this planet. I was at an event in Las Vegas with him, and yeah, just a different guy. Like, even the guys that played with him hate Sean Avery. Usually it's that, like with Kachuk and Marchand, the guys on his team love him. It's every other team that hates him. No, even Avery's own team hated him. What does that tell you?
Yeah, not good things.
No. Look, I wanted to get back into that Fajardo discussion earlier. Jeff, the Stamps fan, was watching, and he said, wait, did I hear you correctly? The Riders aren't going to extend Cody Fajardo? And that's typical of Jeff, the Stamps fan, listening with half an ear. I don't think he's here right now, so let's really trash him. But that's not the story. The story is that the Riders are not offering Cody Fajardo, their star franchise quarterback, a contract extension now. Go to 3downnation.com. The story's there, quoting the general manager of the Rough Riders, Jeremy O'Day, who appeared on CJME Radio, the non-rights holder radio station for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, CJME Radio. And he said, no, there's no CBA yet. We don't even have a collective bargaining agreement. Why would we open up contract talks? And you, Moose, had a really good comment about how Cody's fine with it because he thinks he's going to go out and shoot out the lights. And this is what I meant. And then he'll be able to earn more at the end of this season. And it really reminds me of my situation with the Calgary Flames that I don't mind saying right now. And the Flames can't deny because they know it's true, too. When I agreed to a 3-year contract with the Flames in 2014 and all of the crap that went along with it, it was on a handshake deal. And then on my last discussion with the Flames, they said, yeah, you agreed to a 3-year deal, but we're going to make it a 1-year deal. And I said, great. And they said, what? That doesn't bother you? That doesn't scare you? And I said, no, because I'm going to come to Calgary, knock your socks off, and then it'll be on my terms. And they laughed and actually loved it. The problem was I never heard from them again. But that's the attitude of a confident player. That's why the players want the 1-year contracts, and that's why Cody Fajardo would have no problem with the fact that he's not going to get a contract extension this year. Right? You've long had that attitude in life, and that's fairly new to me, but I like it. You know? So again,
absolutely.
If you're listening with half an ear, you would have people would think, oh, they're not offering him an extension. That's not it. Let's see how this season goes. But you also made the interesting point that he's coming off a down year. Am I out to lunch? I've long been accused of having the green-colored glasses and goggles and not seeing things for what they are. Did Cody Fajardo, in fact, have a down year last year? Because I didn't see that. I watched the games.
I know. Well, you said third in the league in passing. His personal record was 8-4. They had a home playoff game, did they not? They got into a playoffs.
Semifinal. Yep, they had Calgary there for the West semifinal. Yep.
That's right. Home playoff game. No, I was more tongue-in-cheek saying, wasn't that the narrative on Cody throughout the year from whether it was the fans or the analysts, right? That, he's having a down year. Maybe he's not the future at quarterback for the Riders. Well, Cody wants to come out and prove you wrong, and then he'll command the top dollars.
Before I let you go and we bring in Mike Snee from College Hockey Inc. to talk about the Frozen Four, I got my list in front of me. What should I be following tonight? 10 games in the NHL. We all know the ones in the NHL that are important. Leafs at Florida here. Matthews going after the record. Oilers at San Jose. In the NBA, the Raptors are home to Atlanta tonight. There are 3 in the dub. Regina Pats are at Brandon. Saskatoon's at Medicine Hat. And Kelowna is at Prince George. What should we be following? I see the Blades have clinched. If I went to WHL.ca right now, I get it all. Just in the time that's left, what's like a week left in the regular season? What's popping? What's interesting in the dub right now that I should be paying attention to?
The scoring race is really interesting. Connor Bedard's in the top 5 in scoring. Kyle Krinkovic's right there. If you're looking at, the folks in the rectangle, a couple of great players in Red Deer and Ben King and Arshdeep Bain. So the scoring race, interesting. Winnipeg being the top team in the country, and can they continue to play? Their goaltender, Daniel Hauser, is playing phenomenally. Had 4 shutouts in March and then started April with another shutout. So those are a couple of storylines in the dub.
Thank you. I was talking to a hockey guy the other day, and I can't remember who it was because I talked to so many people, but he said, I really like the Winnipeg Ice, but I'm not in love with their goaltending. I'm like, no! What's not to love? This kid is setting all kinds of records. What did you just say, 4 shutouts in a month? Set a CHL record for wins to start a career, and you're not in love with their goaltending? We have 60 seconds. I need you to tell me something. It's been bothering me for days. You said Connor Bedard was showing signs of frustration Friday night in the game that you broadcast against Winnipeg. Tell me more.
Well, he is so good. He takes the attention of everybody. 4 Winnipeg players come with Connor, and he just zips it over. He's so good. But he's never scored against Winnipeg. He hasn't scored a goal this year against the Winnipeg Ice. And it's frustrating. And he's had chances, but it just, all night it was off the tip of his stick. The pass didn't reach him. He was shut down defensively, and then in the third period, he took a penalty, a little cross-check in the corner. Wasn't dirty or bad, but it was one of those frustrated ones where he's had enough, and he gave a guy a little cross-check. Connor's a competitor, and you like to see that fire from him, too.
Okay. Thanks for the update. I'll see you for overtime.
You betcha.
Looking forward to a little college hockey talk, and I know you are, too, when we return with Mike Snee from College Hockey Inc. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network. We're streaming live on YouTube daily. And, of course, if you missed any portion of the show, you can catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
It is the RP Show. Game day down here in South Florida. Toronto Maple Leafs in town tonight, taking on the Panthers, 7 p.m. at FLA Live Arena. Going to be a huge crowd, always in when the Leafs are here. And Auston Matthews goes after the single-season Leafs goals scored record. We had Rick Vaive with us last hour. He holds the record. Said he'll be watching tonight. Said it in 1982. And he's pulling for Auston to break his record. What a great guy. Been a fantastic hockey discussion today. We keep it rolling. Mike Snee joins us, the executive director from College Hockey Inc. on a very big week for them. The Frozen Four getting rolling this week in Boston. They're back up in the Northeast. Hey, Mike, what a field. What a week. This is what a guy like you lives for, I would think.
Absolutely. Other than I nothing against Boston, but I wouldn't mind it being in South Florida.
See if we can make that happen. I wouldn't mind for that to happen either. But listen, why Boston, by the way? What do you know about naming the sites? Because they haven't been there, I don't think, since 2015. But only Colorado Springs has hosted it more. Yeah, what's the deal there?
That's right, 2015. The NCAA just puts it out for bid, and a lot of cities, more cities than typical, have bid for it. In fact, it's been in Tampa twice, and we're going to head back to Tampa. I believe it's next year. To double check that, but I think we're in Tampa next year. So we are actually do head to Florida. It's going to be in St. Louis soon. It's going to be in Las Vegas soon. But when it goes back to the cities like Boston, where there's so much hockey history, so much college hockey history, it's pretty special.
Oh, man, we got so much to get to here. The teams in this tournament, Denver, Michigan, Minnesota State, and Minnesota. It's like March Madness basketball in that it's unforgiving, it's fast. How do you see this unfolding, man? This is kind of a dream matchup of these four teams: Denver, Michigan, Minnesota State, and Minnesota.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, three were number one seeds. One was a number two seed. So you can state a case that they're the four best teams in the country. I think you say this every time, but I mean, we truly mean it. Any one of these four teams could win it. You wouldn't be surprised if any of the four teams win it. The talent on these teams might be unprecedented in terms of Frozen Fours before. There's 41 NHL draft picks competing this weekend. 9 of them are first-round draft picks, so it's going to be good hockey.
Owen Power is in it. Obviously, he does not regret his decision to not go to Buffalo this year. He's led the Wolverines to the Frozen Four, but he's just one of many great Canadians. Let's talk about that are going to be playing this weekend.
Well, his teammate, Kent Johnson from British Columbia, is also back and trying to complete the story and win the national championship this year. And that really seems to be a trend. I mean, there's always been Canadians playing college hockey. But it seems right now that a combination of the quantity, but also the quality of those players, how impactful they are, high NHL draft picks, players moving on to do well in the NHL. Cale Makar is a great example. And we feel it. We feel that interest level from Canada, both from players wanting to play it, but also from people just simply wanting to follow it and pay attention and becoming college hockey fans.
Well, it seems to me there's a sense that the popularity of the Frozen Four is growing, not just in America, but in Canada too. And maybe that's because of television in Canada. Why do you think that is? And what proof is it? What are the metrics to prove that the popularity is growing in Canada of this week's tournament?
Well, one of the metrics is probably just its availability. We do have a partnership with TSN that we started a few years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. So now they bring it literally into people's living rooms, and also they stream quite a bit of NCAA hockey. So I think it's accessibility, and then just the world we live in where so much is so accessible and people are discovering things that maybe they didn't know much about before. And that's college hockey in Canada is a great example of that. And actually college hockey in Europe is a great example of that too. The numbers of European players playing college hockey has quadrupled in just the past 9 years. So as much as it is a Canadian story, it's probably a worldwide story when it comes to interest in college hockey. And then I think the metrics, as you just laid out, is that interest level. I think from our standpoint, the inquiries that we're getting, that our metrics show in terms of people coming to our website or following our social media and where they're coming from, in particular coming from Canada. So I don't think it's just a thought. I think it is proven that college hockey is as popular as ever, and that popularity is widespread.
You gotta tell me about the European invasion, because I was unaware of that. And by the way, I spent 17 years working full-time in the Western Hockey League. I'm intimately aware of junior versus college and all the rest, but I didn't know about this European invasion. What led to that?
Probably the same things, just the world is smaller because of technology and the awareness. Maybe College Hockey Inc. has a little bit to do with it. I'm not certain, but I've been with the organization for 10 years, and in my first year, there were 34 Europeans playing throughout NCAA Division I men's college hockey, and right now there's 116. So I think the same things exist. The word is out. It's easier for word to be out. It's easier to scout and recruit. And then once players do something and have success, they tend to be trailblazers. They tell their story. People see it happen, and other people want to do it. So I think it's just it's not really a surprise, I guess, but it's happening. So it's not just that college hockey is becoming more popular amongst Canada. I think that's really a phenomenon beyond Canada.
Well, and by the way, I think we all know television rules the world. I have to be honest with you. During COVID, NCAA found a way to play, and those games were in a lot of markets. Yep. And I was watching the games on TSN, and I don't just watch for the players. I'm a broadcaster, so I was following the broadcasters, and I'm like, wow, these guys and gals are good. Talk about, if you don't mind, how NCAA hockey came through COVID, because it kicked the crap out of your national tournament, right? I think the first year. You must be happy to be back to a full barn this year.
Yeah, well, 3 years ago, obviously we don't need to remind anybody about COVID and what it did, but 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, it canceled our entire tournament, including the Frozen Four. Yeah. And then last year we were able to have it, but we weren't able to have fans, and personally I wasn't able to attend. So I'm ecstatic to be headed off to Boston here tomorrow and to have a full house to watch the Frozen Four. And like you said, last year, our student athletes were pretty fortunate to be able to experience most of their seasons. There were a handful of schools that didn't compete, and then there were also some games that were missed. But for the most part, college hockey had its season last year. It was very well done. University of Massachusetts ended up winning their first ever national championship last year. And I give full credit to the leadership in college hockey, the commissioners of the various conferences, for making it happen. I mean, there were some circumstances that were just unique. One conference got together, and similar to the NHL, they had a bubble type environment in Omaha, and started their season there and played a number of games over a 1 month period of time with student athletes attending class online. Another school, Arizona State, they were road warriors the entire year, playing every game on the road so that they could get their season in. So our schools, the coaches, the leadership at these schools and these conferences made something happen last year that turned out to be pretty special. But we hope we never have to do that again, as special as it was. It's really nice to just have a season this year that feels pretty normal.
We'd better not ever have to do it again. I agree. And for our viewers, here are some names. Owen Power of Mississauga, Kent Johnson, who Mike just mentioned, from Port Moody, BC. Carter Savoy, you might recognize that surname, from St. Albert. Mike Benning from St. Albert. Justin Close from Kindersley. Sask, goalie for Minnesota. So, yeah, there's some big names to watch. Mike, we do have to run. We're out of time, but I appreciate this. Always enjoy chatting hockey. Enjoy the tourney and safe travels.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Rod. Have a good day.
You too. Mike Snee, the executive director of College Hockey, Inc. We'll be back for overtime and wrap it all up on a very busy day when we return. You're watching the RP Show. Get your comments in this break, by the way. One final viewer takeover for Taco Time when the Moose joins us after this break on Game Plus TV, live streaming on YouTube, and 24-hour sports radio streaming right now at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Okay, it is overtime. It's brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the National Hockey League and the UFC. You can find them at 909 Arcola Avenue East in Canada's Queen City. It's the final segment of the day. Getting very excited for tonight. I mentioned to get your comments in for this segment. We do have the Moose, right? Is the Moose with us? Can we bring him in? Darren Moose DuPont. Randy in the Peg is watching on Game Plus television. Wish I had a nickel every time I said Game Plus TV today, Moose. I'd have at least $1. Randy in Winnipeg says, enjoy the game tonight. Go Panthers. Better take a picture of Matthews for Darren. LOL. Would you like me to get a photo of Auston Matthews for you, Moose?
Come on. You got to get the warm-up shots. Get down in the suicide box and get me the warm-up shots.
Probably won't do that, only because I'm not rolling on my own tonight. It's a group of 4 going to the game, and you understand it. But I have to say this. I have been thinking about this a little bit, too. You and I both very blessed, both very fortunate human beings. And with the way the Dolphins have treated this show, and the Panthers, the Flames, the Hitmen, the Roughnecks, all these teams have been giving us like a fast pass. The Rush, Pats, you know what I mean? To go wherever we want. Yeah. And I think the reason for it is, and they're all watching right now because they tell me, is the reverence and the respect with which we treat them. You know what I mean? We're not jacking around. We dress up to go to the games when we have to. We're very respectful. We sit in our reserved spots. But if you go to Rod Pedersen Official on Instagram and you follow tonight, like it's pretty amazing the way that we get treated by these teams. And I'm very grateful for that. What would the reason be other than that they can see how grateful we are for it and we treat it with so much respect?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. You know, it's relationships and building strong relationships, and a lot of relationships are built off of that trust and respect, right? And that's the way we conduct ourselves. And I think that's important, right? Is to have treat people with respect, no matter who they are, from the security people to somebody working the door to Storm and Norman working the buffet to the people who hand out the passes.
Yeah, well, like I say, we're very grateful for it, and it's important that they know that. The poll question today, to wrap up the show where we started, for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, are you pulling for Tiger Woods in the Masters? At last report, on Twitter, 68% of respondents saying yes, they'll be pulling for Tiger Woods in the Masters. Obviously, 32% saying they will not. Surprised or not surprised, Moose, with the results? I don't have access to the YouTube stats of the vote there, but that's very similar. Ralph tells me that 65% say yes, they'll be pulling for Tiger. Are you surprised or not surprised with that?
I'm not surprised. I thought it'd be a little higher, but you know what? You get the vocal haters that chime in and want to make sure that they vote on this and say no. But I think, come Sunday, I mean, when he won that Masters, Jesus, it wasn't that long ago, a few years ago. It was when we were doing the SJHL championships, Battlefords and Melfort, and I was driving back to Saskatoon and then to Regina. And I remember pulling over on the side of the road to watch Tiger come down 18 and finally win that green jacket. It was a cool moment. It might have been more cool than all the ones that came before that, just because of what he went through, and everybody counts him out. I think that's why people are excited, but the haters will always have their voice in the vote too.
I'm glad, that you're part of this show to break that down from a golf perspective. And I'll say it again. I've said it a lot of times in our meetings with our young staff, like Rocky, who's not with us today. He's homesick. But also Rolf and Jordan and stuff. I don't think people understand that when you're a voice of a hockey team or the voice of a football team, your head is so underwater you don't really pay attention to anything else. You can't. That is your job. And for mine, it was 2 teams year-round. So while I followed golf and Tiger, I didn't really follow it like you would follow it as a golf guy, but I played the Tiger Woods video game and I watched the Masters. But people were comparing. I like what you said about, and Arash did too, that he took golf from where it was to where it is. From a thousands of dollars sport to a millions of dollars sport, maybe billions of dollars sport. You know, that's what he did for the game. And that's pretty cool. Yeah. That might be more than Gretzky did for hockey.
You know what? It might be. You know, when you think of all the sports and the most impactful and most influential, he might be the most impactful athlete of all time. You know, we talk about who's the GOAT of all the GOATs. He might be the one who has had the most impact in growing his sport.
By the way, I just saw your tweet. Did you tweet this from the show account from today's show? Who's the one athlete you hate the most? Was that you?
Are we getting any replies in there?
Oh, yeah, there's lots. But I also see you back that up by saying, please don't tag them. And I actually retweeted it and said Theron Fleury. And then I realized, wait a minute, I don't still hate him. You might want to, would you mind maybe it's too late. Rephrasing that and saying, who's the one athlete you hated? Yeah, no, leave it. No, leave it. Okay. Leave it. Mike from Mississauga. I like this. Mike from Mississauga writes that he's watching on Game Plus. He says, the 1993 Philadelphia Phillies ball club. Yeah, but you beat them. We beat them in the World Series. You can't hate the team you beat. You feel sorry for them, don't you? You hate them because you lose to them. Now, hey, no opinion's wrong. And Mike in Mississauga, I appreciate you chiming in. But we beat them. Anyways, what a fun show. Moose, I'll say hi to Austin for you.
All right, please do. Have fun tonight.
Okay, we lost the music, but that's okay. We'll see you tomorrow. We're out. We're out.
You screwed up, Clark.